Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the side story The Black Forest Wills a Dream, aka Skógrinn, Svartr, Vill and Draumr. And yes, that is still a flex. But anyway, to anybody who is bumping into the narration through this very episode and has missed part 1, the playlist is in the description of the video, so you can just hit it and you will be right there at the beginning. And considering that yes, this is a vignette side story, it is still a singular long story, so I would recommend starting from the beginning. But yeah, enjoy and have fun. It is interesting so far, I will say. To anybody else, thank you very much for all the likes and the comments from the previous episode. Much appreciated, guys. Like I always say, all of that, plus obviously watching the videos, helps a lot in the algorithm battles through YouTube, especially because of YouTube's always hot and cold relationship with these long videos, so thank you very much. And of course, because this is part 2 and we have a continuous story here on our hands, we will do a quick recap of the previous part. So for those of you who want to skip it, in the pinned comment below is the timestamp. Hit it and you will be right at the beginning of today's story. But anyway, let us begin with the usual. On the previous part, we began our story with Magallan as she is reaching a research outpost in Ursus. She is there because of 2 reasons. One official reason, which is she's on her way to the Icefields for research, sent by Rhine Lab, of course, her employer. But on the other hand, she also has a secret goal in mind, or rather, she was told about something else, and that is that her mentor, together with a group of researchers, has gone missing out in the Icefields, and she is being basically sent to find them as quickly as possible, considering that she will be able to get there quicker than an actual rescue team. So she reaches the outpost, settles in, and waits for a Ursus messenger who is supposed to come along, check her papers, and pretty much allow her access to further go through Ursus so she can reach the Icefields. But the messenger arrives by the name of Einn and tells her that all passage through Ursus is currently prohibited and that she will not be able to go any further. However, Magallan does have an idea how to go about that, and that is to go through Sami instead. And so the two of them head out for another outpost where they can make contact with the Sami. In the meantime, we see quite a lot and hear quite a lot about the tension between the Sami and the Ursus along the border. We mainly see a group of Ursus border patrols who are at first helping out a group of Sami warriors fend off some demons, considering that both groups of people are continuously in combat with them, but they are also in combat with each other, or rather Ursus is the one who is continuously, you know, trying to occupy more territory, as we literally see in that part. But we see how far they're willing to go to accomplish that, especially how they see the Sami people. But in the meantime, Magallan also kind of experiences that by talking to the messenger with her, Einn, who pretty much gives his own opinion about the Sami and how he sees them. Upon delivering Magallan to the research outpost, the other outpost, who is pretty much in shambles, except for a big tree that is apparently growing out of the middle of the building, he breaks off from her, telling her that he is going to go and get into contact with people that he is supposed to meet up. But we also see continuously through the story that he is in contact with his officer and informing him about Magallan's movement. And they do have some other plans for her, how to use her, and so on and so forth. But as he disappears, someone else appears, and it is Magallan's good old friend Santalla, that she met some time ago and befriended very well. But unbeknownst to Magallan, she is not aware that the Ursus are calling her the Witch of the Snowfields, and yeah, that is a nickname for her, alright. But yeah, the Ursus fear her, but ignorance is bliss, I guess, from Magallan's perspective. She doesn't need to know that. But anyway, the two of them meet up and continue on into Sami after Magallan explains her intentions and where she is headed. And Santalla obviously agrees to escort her through Sami territory until they reach her destination. Later we see them passing through a mountain range and encountering a interesting supernatural phenomenon. The phenomenon causes some sort of very realistic hallucinations for Magallan, in which case she actually sees the mentor that she is looking for, but she sees them to a degree that she is able to have a actual normal conversation with the person, even though it is definitely luring her to her death. But luckily for her, she gets broken out of that illusion by the sudden appearance of Typhon, a Cyclops, and also Sarkas, who is living in Sami together with her own very mentor, Agres, who is up in some cave, and that they are actually going to later, but that is for later. First and foremost, she helps Magallan out of the illusion by making her pretty much deaf. However, they continue onward and encounter the Sami mountain folk, a group of people who is essentially on the front line of fighting against the demons, and they are not happy with their appearance there, and are very wary of them, pointing spears at them, surrounding them. But at the end, as negotiations are kind of breaking down, the three of them break off and start to run, essentially. They keep running further into the mountain, and once again, upon noticing that they are not being pursued anymore, but instead run again into the same hallucination, but kind of bit different this time, as this time around the snow appears to go backwards, or rather is falling upwards, collecting in the air, and is essentially just hanging there and waiting to bury anybody who is gonna approach. But thanks to Typhon and some handy-dandy Sarkas blood witchcraft apparently, they managed to stave off the danger for now, and Typhon and Magallan proceed further up the mountain to reach the cave where essentially Typhon is kind of also living, together with her mentor. Santalla in the meanwhile breaks off a bit, and we see why throughout the story as well, because she carries, as Magallan pointed out, a communication device on her that is of Ursus make. But unbeknownst to Magallan, Santalla is using it essentially to spy on the Ursus and their movements through the Sami territory, as she continuously keeps listening in to messages that are coming through. But in the meanwhile, up in the cave, where Typhon and Magallan have just made themselves at home for a bit, Typhon's mentor is not there, but Typhon tells her that she can partake in the food that is out and about, that is not behind some curtain, I think, as she said, and that she can also freely look through the books and notes that are out on display and table. And as Magallan points out, she does find one interesting book in which she sees a word that she never ever heard before, considering it's written, or rather spelled out in Sami, and it says basically the devils. And that is essentially where we left off last time. So this time around we shall continue. And we shall continue with the next two stories, which are Shadows of Trees and Revelation of Nature. And yeah, the length of the episode already tells you enough. It's only these two parts, but it is already lengthy enough, trust me on that one. Still not sure if next time I'm gonna do the 3 in one go, but considering it's only 3 of them, I'm probably gonna splice them into a single episode, but that will be for the final part. For now, let us proceed into our first part for today, which is, like I said, Shadows of Trees. Let's begin. Breathe in. Breathe out. Here, eat this. Okay. It's so sour.
At least it's edible, right? You'll get used to it. And here, this too. Huh? How come this nut is hollow? Like a bubble? Yeah. The locals call them bubbles. You hardly feel anything when you eat them, but they're very important for climbing these mountains. Do you feel better now? Does your head still hurt? I'm fine now. These fruits and nuts are way better than altitude sickness pills, at least. So do you know how they work? No, but does it really matter, as long as they do? Of course it does. I gotta jot this down and bring some samples back with me. My colleagues in pharmaceutical R&D would love to hear about this. Did you bring any of those pills? For altitude sickness? Of course. You should take a look at the active ingredients.
Magallan rummages through her baggage.
Here they are. Main ingredients: wild sour berries and bubble nut extract. You mean...
One of Sami's primary exports to Colombia is raw medical ingredients. Although I hear your company plans to cut off all trade with us as soon as they figure out how to synthesize or cultivate them themselves. Unfortunately for them, that will never happen. Not that something from Sami.
You're saying we can't recreate the growth conditions in Colombia?
No, of course you can. But even if you did, what sprouts from the soil wouldn't be the same plants. For one very simple reason. Typhon saying in Sami.
Because everything is provided by Sami.
Everything is provided by Sami. Magallan in broken Sami.
Everything provided by Sami? You pick up languages quickly. When we first met, you needed Simone to translate for you whenever you wanted to say something about Sami. Your Colombian's not bad at all, either. Arger speaks it well. That's why I can manage.
I see the tree line. The mountain folk won't bother us anymore.
Finally, a place to have a good meal. Do trees mean better food? The mountains have meat, but no fruit. The forest is different. There are all kinds of food there. Anything you could want to eat. Wow.
Magallan pulls out notes and starts writing.
Forest has abundant resources.
Typhon, is there a settlement nearby?
Yes, and it's a tribe with a tree.
Then they must have lived here in peace for many years.
A tribe with a tree? What does that mean?
Each forest tribe has their own clan tree. If they don't, then they must either be up and coming, or they manage to lose even their tree. Whichever the case, it's laughable. Will this tribe listen to us?
I believe they're quite friendly. But either way, I can guarantee they will be more welcoming than the mountain tribes. Huh, really? Of course, the mountain warriors fight the monsters in the north and the unfriendly Ursus all year round, so you can't blame them for being so uptight. Some of them are less cold when they leave the front lines for home. Well, that's good to hear. So, how do the Sami usually categorize themselves? It's pretty easy to remember. The ones farthest to the north who live in the mountains are the mountain folk. The ones who live in the middle in the forest and its surrounding area are forest folk, and the ones who live in the wetlands to the far south are the marsh folk. What about you then? Me? I'm a hunter. Hunter. Going by the classifications you just gave me, shouldn't it be based on what environment you're from? Oh, that. I'm a Sarkas. I don't have a fixed place to live, and I don't belong to a tribe, so naturally, I live outside the rules. Then what about Simone? Simone?
I'm a Rhode Islander.
Rhodes? I've never heard of an island like that here. Is Rhode Island another category here?
Perhaps. Here we are.
tree, it's like a vertical nomadic city. I've never seen a... I've got to take a picture. It doesn't seem so different from last time, but... Why does it look like they're all moving things outside?
A forest shaman approaches and speaks in Sami.
Welcome, friends. Thank you for your hospitality, attendant of the tree. We came from the north. Would it be convenient for us to stay the night? Of course, honorable shaman. We always enjoy receiving guests. In any other circumstances, your arrival would be reason enough for a feast. Alas, as you can see, we are preparing to move from this land that has long been our home. We leave on the morrow. You will find many of our houses on the tree empty tonight. You and your companions may pick any of them to rest in. The tree won't mind. I thank the tree and your tribe for your generosity. You are very welcome. Please, come in. Once you have settled down, please come to the ancestral home at the top of the tree. We may have need of your wisdom. We have their permission to stay the night. Let's pick the house closest to the branch there. Finally sleeping indoors. Is that important? How else can you rest easy? Otherwise, you're up all night from worry. Is that so? That's awfully picky of you. It's not. Let me explain. Waterproof pad, sleeping bag. There. Pfft. What's so funny? Oh, I just thought it was amusing that you put in all this effort just to sleep. We don't get this chance every day, so I'm gonna make the most of it and get as comfy as I can. Want to try it yourself? Me? No need. As long as I have my robe to wrap myself in, I can sleep anywhere. I mean, sure, you could, but you could also get in this sleeping bag and close your eyes. It's so comfortable. You'll see. Really? Can't hurt to give it a try, can it? Alright. Just squeeze yourself in there. I won't zip it up. It's soft. Like bee skin, but it feels lighter than that. These are our rations for tonight. Alright, thanks. You can leave Typhon's over here. What's wrong with her? I had her try out my sleeping bag and she fell asleep just like that. Oh. I need to step out for a second and speak with the shaman here. If you want to go outside, you should take Typhon with you. The forest folk may be friendlier, but I won't appreciate it if you don't follow their rules. Okay, got it. Have a safe trip, Simone. Hey, Typhon? Typhon? She seems pretty exhausted. I'll just take a few photos from the doorway.
Santalla speaking in Sami.
You requested my presence, ma'am? Yes, thank goodness you've come. Allow me to explain the situation. As you can see, we are preparing to move. We encountered some trouble on our journey from the mountains. Are you facing similar issues here? Indeed. Thankfully, there are no victims yet, but my tribesmen tell me of a number of ill omens we've received. Most importantly, there's this. Corona. Hreidr. Sami Villain is clear. Regardless of the reason, my tribe must depart for a more suitable home. I understand. But then, why did you summon me? Please, take a look at this. I mustn't. This is your tribe's register. I am an outsider. I understand your concern, my friend. I've lived in this forest ever since I was a child, as did my father, his father, and all of our ancestors. But because we have lived such quiet, comfortable lives for so long, this register has become barely more than a symbol for us, an inheritance. When I flip it open, I find myself unable to understand all of its words. I've studied it with my family, and communicated with my ancestor in hopes of understanding of the symbols within. But I feel as though we are still missing something. You are a shaman too, are you not? I was. As long as you were once, your wisdom will undoubtedly be of assistance to us, friend. Please, have a look. We need your advice. Sleeping bags are actually pretty comfortable. Magallan! Strange. Where is she? Things seem pretty noisy outside. Outlander touching the clan tree? Oh no, it has to be the bird brain! Speak. I'm sorry. I knew I couldn't take samples, but I had no idea I wasn't even supposed to touch it. The tribe's tree is their oldest, most respectable presence. Under normal circumstances, an outsider wouldn't even get the chance to stay in their tree houses. Would you touch an ancient monument for no good reason? That or, do you have any wise elders where you're from? The president? President, okay. If you were to run up to your president and touch their face, how would others react? I'd probably be taken to the ground by Secret Service agents before I got within 10 feet of him. It's like that then. Luckily, these people are peaceful. All they've done is talk behind your back. If we were anywhere more hot-headed, they might have taken an axe to your head. I'm sorry. Simon told you to take me with you when you go outside. How could you forget? I just wanted to take a few pictures, but the tree looked like it had a nice texture, so I wanted to see it up close and, wait, huh? You heard what she said? Weren't you asleep? I could hear her while asleep. Then how come you didn't wake up when I called your name? Because I was asleep. Anyway, you've learned your lesson. Don't get hung up on it. Do you want to try some tasty fruits and nuts? They have any here? I saw a lot of them in the forest. Come, we'll pick as many as we can. Enough for Simone too. We can eat them on the road tomorrow. You two are back? We got some fresh fruits. Do you want any, Simone? We should rest now. Magallan. Typhon, what did you feed her? It wasn't me. She picked some nuts and asked if they were poisonous. I said no, and before I could even finish, she'd stuffed her mouth full of them. Silencing chestnuts? You should rest then. A good night's sleep ought to fix it. Good night. Good night, Simone. What's wrong? You keep the sleeping bag. I don't need it. Sweet dreams.
Magallan can still remember how fluffy and warm her sleeping bag was, and how rhythmic the breathing of those around her was. It was a quiet, comfortable environment, just perfect for resting. But the moment she opens her eyes, she finds herself in the forest. A blanket of greenery drapes over her waist. The trees around her have shrouded the moonlight above. It is completely dark all around. She feels thirsty, so she follows the sound of water to a stream. She bends down to drink from it. Nothing is out of the ordinary. Everything is exactly as it should be, even when she sees the reflection in the water. Even if the reflection in the water is that of a musk beast. The night is dark, quiet, and full of terrors. Magallan instinctively senses danger. She quickly lies down and breezes through the bushes before climbing onto the tree marked with her secretions, the nest she calls home. It is safe there. There she will find her kin, her family. She stands on the tree branch and squeals, waiting for a reply. Nothing. She hesitates a little, but in the end hops onto the tree trunk and back into her nest. There her mother is fast asleep in the shadows. She wants to snuggle up to her, to get through the night in her embrace, but once her eyes adjust to the darkness, she finds only a scattered pile of beast bones. The nest is very wide and very dark, almost like there's something waiting for her. Waiting for her to come home. Waiting for her to lower her guard. Waiting for her to be overwhelmed by fear. Something climbs onto the back of her neck. The nightmare left Magallan feeling sick. She wants to walk out the door, catch her breath, and calm herself down before going back to sleep. But the moment she steps outside, what she sees makes her doubt that she has actually awoken from her dream. There is a large shadowy entity roaming here. It looks like a person, and also kind of like a tree. The large shadow is moving in a single direction, at a slow, yet steady pace. The entity shrouds even the moon above, keeping the ground below out of the moonlight's reach.
What is this? I need to get a picture of it. That's not possible. It makes no sense.
In the photo she just took, the shadow was nowhere to be seen, and the moonlight illuminates the ground. Everything looks perfectly normal. But the shadow still moves before her eyes. Without a sound. Magallan stands rooted to the spot. She doesn't know if she should head back inside to sleep, as if nothing had happened, or go grab her equipment and measure this possibly unrecordable supernatural phenomenon as best as she can. Just as she finds herself lost in thought, the enormous shadow sweeps past her. She instinctively jumps back, and at the same time, something climbs onto the back of her neck.
What are you doing out here? Relax, Magallan. Calm down, I'm here. Nothing here is going to hurt you. Don't try talk yet. Calm down first. Have a seat and drink some water. It doesn't matter how big that guy is. It's just a shadow. Feeling any better? Thanks. You almost scared me to death. You were stronger than I expected. I was looking forward to you screaming loud enough to wake everyone up. Are they going to kick me out of the village tonight then? No, the Sami aren't that narrow-minded. Had a nightmare? Let me guess. One where a beasting cub goes home, finds its mother's bones, and then gets eaten? Did you have the same dream? Yep, just this afternoon in your sleeping bag. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It comes whenever I rest in a safe, relaxing environment. Like an unwelcome friend. This is one of the bad things about Sami. The cycle of hunt or be hunted never ends, even in your dreams. And in dreams, most find themselves on the side of the hunted. Then, can we become the hunters? Wouldn't you rather be the rules themselves? Is that even possible? Who knows? Maybe it is. Once we become more mature, when we're no longer afraid of these big guys. Magallan, why don't we try touching it? Huh? Isn't that dangerous? I thought you were an explorer. Why are you so afraid? I only ever set out after I've planned for every possible contingency, but how am I supposed to prepare for this? Stop pulling! Ah! We stepped on the tree! It's not the main trunk. Stepping on it a little won't hurt. Besides, no one's around to see. This is a great spot. Let's sit here. Are you sure we're not too close? How are we supposed to touch it from far away? Are we really going to touch it? It's just a shadow. There's nothing to be scared of. Or to exact, it's only a shadow for now. A very, very faint one. Maybe one day it will grow into a more concrete threat, but we'll have grown too. We'll have even more tricks up our sleeves. So when that time comes, maybe these things won't be so scary to us anymore. Besides, I can sometimes hear a voice in that dream where we're preyed on. If something ever scares you, you should attack it without hesitation. If you defeat it, you will have defeated fear. If you run from it, you will always be afraid. Come! But...
Magallan uneasily looks at the curtain-like shadow before her. The cruel and oppressive feeling she felt in her dream still haunts her mind. Part of her tells her not to take the risk, but... she slowly reaches her hand out.
just like that. Slowly. It'll be fine. I'll do it with you.
Typhon places her palm on the back of Magallan's hand and gently pushes it forward. The moment they're met with a hint of resistance, she stops pushing forward and instead reaches forward ahead of Magallan's hand. She dips her hand into the shadow and pulls it back out. Then she places it back on Magallan's hand.
See? Nothing to be afraid of. I'll give it a try.
Magallan's hand inches forward bit by bit until her fingertips are finally submerged in the shadow. She thought she would feel a hint of cold, or perhaps that something would suck her in or chew on her fingers. But there was nothing. Nothing. First up to a joint, then a whole finger, finally her whole hand. The shadow still moves, but aside from the change in the light, nothing happens at all. Exactly as Typhon said. It's just a shadow.
How is it? Just like I said, right? You're right. There's nothing. How did something like this happen in the first place? Still hung up on those scientific principles of yours? Things don't just happen without rhyme or reason. Then how come our mothers gave birth to you and me, and not to anyone else? Based on your logic, isn't that something with no rhyme or reason? Well, that's because... It seems like you Southerners really need to have a reason for everything. But if you ask me, I think it's more important to be able to face the unknown at any time. Even if I'm not prepared. Don't you get scared? Do you? When you encounter a blizzard in the Icefield, an avalanche in the mountains, or a pack of beasts when you're alone? I do, yeah, but I still think I'll manage to survive somehow. If you can manage to survive, even when you're scared, you've already accomplished the most difficult thing there is. And in that case, what else is there to be afraid of? Even if the shadow in front of us were to suddenly turn into a real monster, you wouldn't be afraid, would you? If it were something that actually exists, we could deal with it. This is just a shadow. Everything that exists has a weak point. You wait, observe, and survive until the moment you find that weakness, and then you attack. That's how hunters have always lived. You're an explorer, so you're something like half a hunter. I'm sure you can handle these things too. Nothing stays the same forever. Maybe there will come a day when the things that once scared you are afraid of you instead. Don't overthink it. We have to be on the road tomorrow. Oh, right. Here. Want a fruit before you go back to bed? No, thanks. Eating sugar before bed is how you get cavities. Alright, up to you. Good night. Nighty-night, Typhon.
Magallan turns around and looks at the hovering shadow once more. But for some reason, she doesn't think it represents fear and emptiness this time. It feels more like a traveler who has lost his bearings and doesn't know where to go, simply wandering the lands aimlessly. Maybe by the time the sun rises, it will have gone back home for a good night's sleep. Magallan takes another picture. Just like before, there is nothing in the photograph. She thinks a little and adds a note on the picture. Mr. Lonesome. Finally, everything is quiet once more. Only the wandering shadow is left to hover around alone. Until daybreak.
It should almost be time. I wonder what kind of ceremony this is. Oh, it's starting!
Magallan takes out her notebook.
The Sami begin the ceremony by singing and dancing around their clan tree. Perhaps this is meant to be a farewell to the tree.
10 minutes later.
The dance is very unique, but disorderly. Everyone dances on their own. It's almost like a carnival.
30 minutes later.
Is Simone here yet? Oh, she's right under the tree, talking to the shaman. If you wanna look, I can lend you my binoculars. No thanks, my eyes are enough to see her without your gadget. What kind of ceremony is this anyway? And how much longer will it take? If you hadn't come, I'd have fallen asleep by now. I'm a Sami Sarkas, not a Sami Alafia. I don't know much more than you. As for how long it will take, that's hard to say. I've seen ceremonies that ended with just the shaman's nod, as well as gatherings that lasted all day and night. But forget the ceremony. Take a look at this. I found it in the forest. Is this a snowball? It's Amma's affection, Magallan. It's Amma's affection. Amma? That means mother, right? Good memory.
Oh, very quickly, before I forget, I did try and Google, considering that so far I've been getting mostly Icelandic results for everything and anything that I have been saying in the other language, in the Sami language, in quotes. But for Amma, I didn't get mother from Icelandic, I got grandmother instead. So I do not know if this is appropriated for the lore of the game to be mother, but let's go with mother for now.
As a southerner might put it, this is a mother's love. It's the protection most sought after by the Sami. Among all of Sami's kindnesses, it's the purest and most sincere. Here, take it, Magallan. Put it in your pocket. Didn't you just say all the Sami want this? You found it, so you should keep it. I can't take it. I know it's worth, but that's why I don't have the rights to it. Amma doesn't like granting protection to greedy people. But you know nothing about her. Ignorance is also kind of a purity, and you have an honest soul. That's why you should have it. Then what should I do with it? Forget about it, like you never received it in the first place. Then I gotta give you something in return too. Hold on. Here you go, little Typhon. What did you just call me? Never mind. So what is this? A flare. Just twist open the lid and pull the string, and it'll let out a ton of light and noise. You're a hunter, I'm sure you can think of a use. That does sound pretty useful. I'll try it out next time. Huh. Magallan, they stopped dancing. Aren't you taking notes? Quick! Huh? Oh, okay.
She starts to scribble again.
After 40 straight minutes of independent carnival, the ceremony has moved on to its next phase. The shaman shows the trapsman a wood carving. She says something impassioned. Then she raises her wooden staff, faces the clan tree and sounds the horn. Then she starts murmuring something. There is another shaman assisting her by her side, like she's singing in accompaniment. Typhon, can you help me out and figure out what they're saying? I can't understand it. The tone is familiar, but those are clearly not words you use in normal conversation.
Magallan jots down.
Some sort of ritualistic language. She's repeating a few short words over and over. Repeating. Her emotions build up and she keeps raising her voice. What's going on? An earthquake? Typhon, where should we evacuate to? No, Magallan? Look, the tree...
Typhon in Sarkas.
My god.
The tree's roots begin to emerge as it gradually lifts off the ground. A thunderous sound rings through the forest and suppresses the shouts of everyone underneath. Surrounded by other trees, it slowly rises into the air as its roots ring together into a bundle and form an unprecedented, in human terms, mobile structure. Its leaves come falling down from the canopy, but the Sami are not shocked in the slightest. Instead, they appear very excited. Indeed, what could be more encouraging than your tribe's ancestral tree lifting itself from the ground along with all the clan's history and memories?
Congratulations, attendant. The ritual was a success. I've always thought my ancestors' journey with the tree was a mere tale. Thank you, child of Santalla tree. Without your interpretation and assistance, this awakening ceremony would not have been as successful. The tree has awakened, but it still awaits a direction and its next steps from us. I must research our tribe register more. With the tree's enormous body out in the open, the disaster of the north is bound to notice it. Their activity has been growing more and more frequent of late. You must pray for Sami to protect the tree with you. Yes, you are right. Please, make your way to the south with all haste and replant the tree. Do not let yourself get caught up in them. Understood. The register says, Well then, my companions and I must take our leave. I pray that Sami will find you and your tribe a satisfactory destination, such that you need never relocate again. Oh, are you leaving so soon? You still have much to attend to. No need to see us off. Then I wish you and your companions a safe and uneventful journey. Once again, I thank you kindly for your help, honored friend. Oh, I see. To make the tree set out, I must first... Farewell.
Report. Santalla, imitating the Ursus messenger's voice.
I have entered Sami as planned. Please advise on the positions of Libafowl and the Black Mark. Over. Simon! Yeah, I'm back. Is there something I can help you with? It's time to go. I'm sorry that took so long. It's okay. Let's go. Simon, you really need to explain to me what she said during the ritual. It's going to be really important to my research. I'll tell you all about it on the way. Sounds good. What's the matter? Nothing. I'll be done real quick.
Before she leaves, Magallan snaps a picture of the enormous tree standing in the forest. For some reason, she feels that this gigantic being, almost completely blocking the sun, looks kind of familiar. She doesn't think too much about it, and merely scribbles her immediate thoughts into her notebook. Then she follows the rest of the group, and they continue their journey to southern Sami. Alright, and let us now continue with our second card here for today, which is titled Revelation of Nature. Let's go.
You can take off the breather, Magallan. There are no spores here. Oh, okay. I've never been so scared of mushrooms in my life. I warned you, Maggie. Don't touch anything, and don't touch anything. Now you know why. The empty box you gave me, I put the mushrooms inside and sealed it. Here. Thanks. I didn't expect the spore density to be so high, or that it could paralyze the respiratory system. It's a carnivorous mushroom. Where do you think its food comes from? So how come you aren't affected at all? We hunters have ways to deal with them. If I died in one of those mushroom swamps, I'd never live it down.
Santalla in Sami.
Typhon, the sacrifice. Sacrifice? Are we there? Yeah, you're right. Where are you going? Wait for me! And what do you mean by sacrifice? Me? Of course not, you bird brain. This is the heart of Sami, the first forest. Where we come from and where we go. Prepare some food as tribute to Sami, and we can enter. Would bad things happen if we don't? Who knows? Do you want to find out? Never mind. Is Hardtech okay? No idea. Crush it and spread it on the ground. Alright.
Santalla in Sami again.
Great land, we ask your leave to pass over you. We offer you the sacrifice that you may watch over us and protect us from bloodshed, from being hunted.
A response in Sami can be heard. Sami says it's okay, ladies. It will eat well thanks to your generosity.
Isn't that a little casual, young shaman? Apprentice shaman.
This isn't really a formal occasion after all. Sami wouldn't mind the presence of a child of the Santalla tree. Oh? A shaman? A hunter? An outlander? That's a rare sight. I don't suppose you're here just for the experience?
We're in a hurry to head south and don't have time to go around the first land.
I see. My teacher often takes this shortcut too. Not this time though. He left me here alone to experience the Sami villain. I've been here for days, wandering the woods without a sliver of revelation to be found. You should know what I mean, child of the tree.
Please, call me Santalla.
Very well, Santalla. Can you tell me what our teacher expects us to bring back from here?
I do not know, Oak Child. I have only been here to witness. This is not where my trial was.
Is that so? What a shame.
We have a long road ahead of us. Let's hurry.
Wait. I'll come with you. I know the trees with the best shade, the cleanest streams, and the safest animal trails. I can be your guide. There's no one more qualified. Let me come with you, Santalla. I'm so bored here I could turn into a tree. What do you think, Great Shaman? And what about you, Hunter? Or our Outlander friend?
I guess I don't mind.
We're all agreed then? Let's go then. Welcome to the first forest.
One more question, Oak Child.
What is it?
What should we call you?
Me? My Sami name might be a little hard to remember. My teacher calls me Oak Cup, so you can too.
May I ask how you got that name?
Because he always grabs my horn and tries to drink from it when he's drunk.
Oh. Hey, are we being watched? Like by a deity? Big predators. One on the tree, one behind Simone in the bushes, and one behind that tree to the left. Oh, is that all? After all the weird stuff we've encountered dealing with carnivorous wildlife, seems almost quaint. Should I be ready for a fight then? No need. They're not hungry enough to risk attacking. So stop worrying about their dinner and start worrying about ours. Huh? Look out! Need help? No thanks. I'm done.
A tusk beast lies prone on the ground, glaring at Typhon. A gaping wound stretches from its cheek all the way to its foreleg.
I guess one of them was hungry enough. Terrible choice of prey, though. Go. Your meat tastes terrible anyway.
The tusk beast does not seem willing to leave. It crouches down in the shadows, ready to attack again. A loud bang. A loud bang rings out in the air before it, sending it scampering into the distance and leaving behind only a scattered trail of blood.
Did you just shoot something with your finger, Typhon? Yeah, for scaring away big guys like these. A roll of leaves? You wrap up air with leaves until it forms a ball.
Magallan takes notes.
But how do you wrap air with leaves? Don't ask. I've tried to teach others, but no one's ever been able to learn it. Easy. It's just an unlucky horn beast that got its neck bitten in half. Maybe by the one that attacked us. Maybe by another.
Looks like our outlander friend has grown accustomed to the ways of this land.
A few more weeks on this, and she'll be a fully fledged Sami.
An outlander who understands Sami. How nice. I remember working as a guide for some Colombian tourists while on a pilgrimage. They started screaming when they saw some carnivores doing their carnivoring. Apparently they thought it was too bloody and uncivilized. Not that I'd call myself civilized, but didn't they pay good money to come here and see the untamed wilderness? One of them even tried to stop the beasts and nearly ended up as their next meal. Their clothes were dignified enough, but certainly not the people wearing them.
You have quite a mastery of Colombian.
Okup responds back in Ursin. Not just Colombian. I just can't keep my mouth shut. Guess I'm a natural-born chatterbox. And I suppose my teacher was a weird old man for teaching me all that. Magallan, in broken Sami.
No, a bit. Yes, true.
The folks back home hated when I just strike up a conversation with southerners. One time, there was a regular Ursus caravan that passed through the tribal market and...
When was the last time I returned? The breath of the wild continues to echo through this place. Does Amma still watch over this forest? Something isn't right. The influence of Amma lingers, but it's not alone. The black mark of Ursus. What is it, Simone? Nothing. Has our guide found somewhere we can spend the night? Yep, inside that tree up ahead. Cap says it's hollow, with enough room for the four of us. I've never seen a hollow tree before. Then, Now's your chance. Wow, we could easily fit another person or two in here.
It's the largest tree house around. Got all close to a dozen.
Where's Typhon?
The hunter? She went looking for Muspie's fruit stashes. She wanted something extra for dinner.
You should rest. I'll set up some protection.
Is that really necessary? The tree has already been blessed, and there are even talismans hanging off of it. She's so serious.
That's how Simone is. I'd have frozen to death 3, maybe 4 times by now, if she weren't here to help.
Simone. Simone. Santalla. I think I've heard that name.
Is she someone famous in Sami?
Oh, no, not at all. I must be remembering wrong. I have a hard time keeping track of anything I haven't seen for myself on my pilgrimage. So maybe I'm mixing her up with someone else. Magallan opens a notebook.
You seem to know a lot, Cup. Mind if I ask a few questions?
Shoot.
I picked up 2 pieces of bark from a tree, and they had symbols on them. I want to know what they mean.
It's a code that Sami uses to communicate with us. They could be messages about the past, the future, or about nature. The same symbols can also mean very different things depending on who is receiving them and when. May I have a look?
I have them right here.
This is the old tree's bark. Snowpriest. The light. Looks like a message from a clan tree to its shaman. You can have them back.
What's the difference between a Snowpriest and a shaman?
Think of a Snowpriest as the head shaman or a greater shaman. He may not be the oldest, but he's certainly the highest in status, and the most powerful and the local leader. Incidentally, my teacher is a Snowpriest.
Will you become one too?
Nah, it's such a pain taking care of the tribe and solving all the problems. Leave that to someone who wants the job.
So, are you a shaman now?
Nope, just an apprentice. I have no idea what Sami wants, or even what it wants from me. Which is why my teacher made me come here to feel the Sami villain.
And, have you felt it?
Nope. Leaves fall, rivers flow. It's all the same. I don't feel anything unusual. I have plenty of complaints for him the next time I see him.
You're back, Simone.
Let me have a look. Wow, you can really do that with ground frost? By the way, I heard that the one who serves the old tree can control the wind and snow, making them dance at her fingertips.
The old tree takes no servants, nor does it need one like me.
Well, if you don't want to talk, I'm not going to press the matter.
Old tree, is there a difference between the clan trees?
There is only one tree that can be called old in Sami. It represents the past and often appears with the heralds of the present and the future. Now, before I continue, I want to interrupt here and just point out that the words past, present, and future in this very sentence have been written with capital letters at the start. Continuing. The three are separate but one, transcending Sami.
The past.
By your outfit, I thought you were an explorer.
I am.
You seem more like what's the word? A folklorist?
As an explorer, it's always good to learn more about an unfamiliar place.
I'll bring you some Sami books if we ever meet again, explorer.
That'd be great. On the other hand, there is only so much I can carry in extreme environments. Maybe the equivalent of 2 volumes of the Encyclopedia Columbiana? It's about this long, this wide, and this thick hardcover.
Yeah, not sure why you thought that helped me at all. Just give me your luggage and let me feel the weight.
Oh, it's all bundled up to be carried on my back. 1 second. There. It's all on the ground.
Good. Looks like you can fit it.
Huh?
That's about the same weight as 2 Sami books.
Oh. What sort of books?
Legends, tribal history, that sort of thing. But full tribal history takes up enough wooden tablets to fill an entire treehouse, so I'll spare you that.
I thought the paper books I saw in the Cyclops' cave were Sami books. Maggie! Oh, welcome back. Do you have any more of those flare sticks? Yeah, why? I tried one when I was picking the fruit, and it worked even better than the leaf ball. You mean you ran into a tusk beast? Why wouldn't I? I was walking alone in the forest and they're hungry. Anyway, do you have any? Half a bundle. How many do you need? Give me 2 for now. And here, fruit from the must-be stash. I've washed them with water. Thanks. Let's eat together and get to bed early. I don't want to wake up and find the door blocked by a bunch of hungry beasts. I'll take the night watch. You already stayed up the other night. It would be my turn. It's safer here, and I won't be up all night. Consider it a chance for me to relax. Alright, if you say so. Be careful. There are demons in the forest. I know. Let's make a campfire, Simone. Absolutely not. Do you want to draw the attention of every predator in the forest? A lamp, then?
Not much difference between a lamp and a fire, light-wise. If you can't sleep, then try this. A dream catcher helps you pass the night in peace, with no dreams of becoming prey.
Thank you. I'll be going to bed then. Good night.
As Okap promised, Magallan was not troubled by nightmares that night. Instead, she dreamt another dream. In it, she is still in the forest at night. But she is not alone. She is a creature like Emperor. Beside her, a massive white horn beast slumbers in the dream of another. It was serene and beautiful. Magallan could not help but reach out to caress it. But it is so dignified and solemn that her hand stops in mid-air. She decides to lay down next to it and dream together with it. A dream within a dream. In it, a dark shadow shambles toward the tree hole where the group is sleeping. Behind it is a trail of darkness and filth. Black snow falls from the sky, burning away Santalla's frost and creating a gap. The shadow walks towards the gap, leaving its vile trail on the ground. Suddenly, a horn beast catches its attention. The horn beast leaps and disappears. By the time the shadow turns around, the gap is filled with frost again. It gazes upon the frost and shambles towards where the horn beast disappeared. The horn beast is still by Magallan, when she wakes up. But its horn had begun to melt. Then its body. Then the forest. Magallan sits upon the snow, snowflakes falling on her beak. For some reason, she feels regret. She never sees the horn beast's eyes until the dream vanishes.
Oh! You're up early today. I just happened to wake up.
Perhaps that was not the entire story. Her sleeping bag is wet near the pocket. She remembers pulling the pocket's zipper shut before sleeping, but it is open now, as if something fell out. There was nothing missing though, except a little Sami souvenir.
Typhon? What's the matter? Got out of the wrong side of bed? Does a mama's affection disappear? Mother has to take care of so many. She can't stay by your side forever. Did the affection I gave you melt? Yeah. Maybe that's a good thing. But she took care of a big problem for us, without us even realizing. If possible, I'd have liked to keep it with me. Well, we can always find another. It's not that hard. Oh, okay. That's the beast that attacked us the other day. Hasn't been dead for long. Looks like it was rammed to death by a large herbivore. Self-defense to avoid being eaten? No, it came for revenge while the predator was weakened. Maybe it lost a friend or family when it was little, and sought vengeance once it grew up. Animals seeking revenge.
The hunter kills its prey, and the offspring takes revenge. Humans do that, and so do animals. We're not as different from them as you civilized folk believe. But that aside, hunter, shaman, over here. We have a bigger problem.
Simone, this rockhorn... Yes, a demon did this. Take the fowl away, Oak Child. Don't let it lick the mother's blood.
Gotcha. Okup imitates a rockhorn cry. The fowl hears the call and staggers away from its mother and towards Okup. It's sobbing and crying. It's scared. Don't worry, I'm here. Okup licks the baby rockhorn's forehead. And Magallan picks up her camera. Magallan looks at the photo. With her own eyes, she can clearly see the rockhorn bleeding blood as black as ink. But the blood doesn't appear in the photo at all.
It wasn't caused directly by a demon, just a corrupted creature, some kind of beast. It won't be turned. Can you save it, Oak Child?
1 second. Watch over the baby for a bit, Magallan. Okup imitates a rockhorn cry again. And leads the fowl to Magallan, then heads towards the injured rockhorn.
Hey, hello?
Magallan stretches out her hand, and the fowl happily rubs its head against her palm. Okup lets out a low cry, and the rockhorn responds back with a pained one. Not good. We might have had a chance if it arrived earlier, but now... all we can do is ease its pain. Stand aside, hunter. Don't let the fowl see. Okup lets out a long call. And the Rockhorn responds back with a stifled moan. No need to be afraid. It won't hurt. Okup waves his staff. Sleep now. Roam free in dream. Over hills, over swamp. He puts down the staff and takes out a dagger. Rest in Amma's woods, for she watches over you. No more pain, no more suffering. With the souls of all life. Okup pierces the Rockhorn's throat with the dagger. Roam free on Sami's back. Rest now, soul of the land. He imitates a Rockhorn's mother's cry.
Oh.
Hearing the call, the fowl hurries to Okup's side. Okup lets out a low cry, and then a high-pitched call. Fear not, your mother is with you. With her blood, her tears. He draws the bloody dagger across the mother Rockhorn's eye. Her horn. Crisscrosses with the dagger. Stopping at your... The fowl lightly kicks Okup's knee with its hoof. Hoof. He draws a mark on the hoof with the dagger. Go, friend. Your life has just begun. The fowl continues to circle Okup, seemingly seeing him as its new family. Well, I suppose that works. Only until we take care of your mother, though. The fowl does not answer, only rubbing itself against Okup.
What's the plan?
This is more than an apprentice can handle. Okup lets out a sharp whistle. Screw training. I'll let my teacher take care of it. That way, we'll take you out of the forest towards a nearby marshfolk village. They'll give you a warm welcome. I'll stay here with the kid and stop the Rockhorn's bleeding until my teacher arrives. I can't let it become food for scavengers.
Say hello to the canopy sage for me.
Oh, so you knew?
Tell him that this is connected to the black mark of Ursus.
Black mark of Ursus? Alright, I'll pass it on. Nothing good ever comes of Ursus being involved.
Do you have enough rations?
I'm not about to become the first apprentice shaman to starve to death in the forest.
Here, take this!
A flashlight? I can see well enough in the dark, but it might be useful to the old man. Thanks. Farewell, friends. May Sami keep you safe.
Finally, out of the woods. Hey, I think I'm getting a signal. The marshfolk trade with you guys a lot, so they've got some of your metal things set up. What will Cap do with the Rockhorn's carcass? Cleanse the corrupted soil and blood, clean the wound, then leave it. Shouldn't it be buried? No point, scavengers would just dig it up. Is it the same with people? More or less. Like Okap said, here in Sami there is not much difference between humans and beasts. Hunt and be hunted, eat and be eaten. The best we can do is show our prey a bit of kindness and make sure they're dead before we eat them. That's the law of nature, the will of the North, the Sami villain. If you want to change that, there's only one way. What's that? Become Sami itself. Become the All-Father. Of course, that's just a legend. No one's ever seen it happen. Stop messing with me.
Checking status of Black Mark. Libafowl is about to trade with those upon water. Another carcass, another victim. The hunter steps over the hunted, with no intention to feed. This was not to satiate hunger, nor for revenge, but pure and simple killing. It is a horned beast, a corrupted one, with an empty hole in its abdomen, but it is still alive. Its blood, tears, and saliva are all black as ink. The hunter roams the animal trail, looking for a new victim. There is a figure swaying at the same frequency, not far away. It is clearly human. Its unique and rhythmic breathing can be clearly heard, even without approaching. And there we have it. Well, he be creepin'. He be doing his thingies. Oh boy, where will this go? But anyway, this will be it for today. Next time we shall, like I said at the beginning of this, probably continue and finish off all 3 of the last stories that are left in here. But this is where we're gonna leave it off for today. Very interesting, very creepy. A couple of interesting things have transpired. Sami itself showing its face, the All-Father mentioned, and spicy. Anyway, we'll see about how this ends next time. For now, thank you very much for watching and listening. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like. It will help me out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and like this, please consider subscribing. There is quite a lot on the channel. Pretty much everything out of the stories, side stories, vignettes has been done. So enjoy. There's quite the catalog. And yeah, if you want to support me and my work more directly, there is also memberships on the channel. And like I always say, there will be no videos ever behind the membership. It is purely there just as a direct, more direct way of supporting me and my work. So thank you very much. Thank you to the members that are there already. And I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And bye-bye.